ladies and gentlemen, look at this. Yeah, different bike, not planned actually, so I know nothing about it. Honda CB1000, naked, as you can see, square clock. Yeah, we'll see. Mirrors not quite set up right, but we'll see when we get going down the road. They are easy to access. It's going to be usual shenanigans. Oh, look at that. Yeah, definitely not a round clock. Oh, nice sound though, huh? Yeah, gear indicator, different modes, sport and all that lot. It's raining today, on and off, so we'll stick with that. So the plan is to negotiate this drop curb in a sensible fashion. Obviously the boatyard road and the Suffolk Road test. Yeah, marvellous. Oh, very smooth. Now, I haven't ridden many Hondas for a very long time, but I have ridden the Africa Twin, which didn't impress me. But I can tell you already, this has impressed me. This is, yeah, so far, fairly impressed. Yeah, just trying to get my mirrors set up. Very smooth, but we'll see how we go. You know, it's not the ideal day for testing a bike. Slightly damp conditions after it's been so hot and dry. It's going to mean that it's all very little bit slippy in places, you know, where the diesel and oil spills and stuff build up from the lorries and tractors. But handling is very sharp. Turned in, it caught me a bit unawares there, turned in a bit quicker than I anticipated. Very smooth, very, very smooth, I have to say. Yeah, marvellous, marvellous. Now of course we've got, there's going to be some juggling about with the scoring system, because we've got this new word, fantabulous. Yeah, I'm thinking it's going to be above splendiferous, but we'll see. We'll see. So on this review, it might start creeping in and it might become nature, you know, just natural for me to use the appropriate word. And when I use it, if fantabulous comes up, if that's how it's making me feel, and it feels better than splendiferous, that's what it'll be. Yeah, so marvellous. So far this is excellent, this motorcycle. Yeah, that's not an official word, I know, but I'm trying to keep neutral on it at the moment. So, as I said, so we're going to have a little bit of dual carriageway. It's a naked bike. So I'm expecting quite a bit of wind blast, but we'll only go steady with it. It's only done 351 miles anyway, don't know what the running in is, but I reckon it's going to be about 150 brake horsepower, I would imagine. Maybe not quite that much, but I haven't had the opportunity to look at it. I've never considered it previously, either for myself or for a review. So yeah, this is a completely brand. Oh, brakes are keen, especially back one. Not used to back brakes being that good. Yeah, very smooth. Makes a wonderful noise, can tell you that. Yeah, marvellous. I'm not sure if that clock is deflecting anything, but there's not a huge amount of wind or turbulence or anything. It's just very, very easy. So, as you know, I'm 6'2", got gangly legs and gangly arms, and I'm finding this very comfortable. Yeah, a sporty position as you'd expect. But yeah, surprisingly comfortable. The bike has thrown me, to be honest. I wasn't expecting for it to feel quite like this. Handling is really nice. It just goes where you want it to. Yeah, it can be a bit sharp, but that could be me just settling into it. Yeah. Yeah, very nice sound. We'll see how the suspension deals with this road and the Boatyard Road, and of course the Suffolk Road. It's sort of a bit of a sandwich test, isn't it? Because this road isn't as bad as the Boatyard Road, and the Boatyard Road is far worse than the Suffolk Road. But we'll see what it's like for overtaking when we get onto this dual carriageway. So, indicator on. Yeah, very good. Very easy. And it seems to be dealing with these bumps pretty well. It does progressively get worse as this road, so I am being jerked about a little bit there, which meant that I was on and off the throttle a little bit, which is a little bit disconcerting at times, isn't it, if you know what I mean, when that starts to happen. But I have got to say the brakes are very good indeed. In fact, that bumping just shoved me forward a little bit in the seat. I am struggling with the mirrors there. Then you don't have a great width, and with my great gangly arms but it is quick enough to mean that actually you probably don't need to worry too much about what's behind you, unless you're riding with other motorbikes, of course. Marvellous. So here we go. I'm expecting this to be perhaps a little painful. I will go steady with it because I don't want to. It's not doing too bad. No, that's watch out for the bigger ones. Yeah, I'm quietly impressed with this bike, to be honest. It's not what I was expecting. There is quite a lot of weight on my wrists as we're coming down here now. I'm starting to feel, which is strange when you consider I don't have that same issue with the 1200RR. But we'll go down here, and I can tell you already this is would make an excellent town bike. I know, ridiculous 1000cc, 100 and odd brake horsepower, but you can see it's a doddle to go slow. It's easily balanced, everything about it is very nice and easy. Just stop here a moment and let's have a look at it. So here we are, gentlemen and ladies. Honda CB1000, marvellous. Yeah, it's really caught me by surprise. I wasn't expecting it to be as nice a bike to ride as it is. The looks, it's acceptable. It's acceptable. That's about what I'd say for it. The colour black, it's nice. I was all black at one time, as you know, with the T120 and the Tiger that I had. They were both black. Nice wheels, twin discs at the front. Those spokes on the alloys are really quite nice. Headlamp, LED, running lamp goes round the outside, looks quite good. Mickey Mouse mirrors, excellent. But again, these little glass, it actually looks alright as glass, actually. But yeah, for the brake reservoir I'm talking about there. Nice big fat wide tyre. That exhaust sounds beautiful, there's no doubt about that. It definitely sounds nice. Little tiny indicators, quick shifter. Yeah, it's not a bad looking bike, is it really? Not everyone's cup of tea. That's about all I've got to say about it. It's got no round clocks, you see. That's sort of thrown me. It's about 140, 150 brake horsepower. So let's split the difference. 145 brake horsepower. Yeah, something like that, I think. Clutches, cable. Yeah, it's not a bad looking bike. No centre stand, of course, you'll notice. But to ride, it rides better than it looks, I think. I mean, you might look at it and go, that's marvellous. But to me, to ride is marvellous at the moment. But we'll see how we get on. So, Suffolk road test. Yeah. Same sign, look. Small people, tall people, horses, bicycles and motor cars. And of course, the all-year motorcyclist on a motorbike. Oh, what we got here? Look at that, only just turned onto it. What do you reckon that is? It's a balloon. Marvellous. There's a balloon. There was no sign for a balloon on there. So we'll see how it deals with this. And a door. There's a door there. No one mentioned a door. So, yeah, I'm getting bounced on the seat a little bit. Crikey. But not too bad. It's light enough and nimble enough. But that suspension is a little bit, I want to say primitive. I don't mean it's sort of primitive, it's a bit harsh. Shall we say bang? Yeah. Lots of horse poo. But the weather's a bit shabby today. The sound is pretty decent. And I guess we've got to get on to yeah, nice pub. Can smell the food there. I wonder what they're cooking. Need to get on to the senses test. So I've got to put my prejudices aside because I wasn't expecting this to be any good at all. And it is, I've got to say that. So I'm going to start with sight to look at. Well, it doesn't really do it for me. I could live with it, but you know, it's of a style that I'm not particularly a fan of, and so my prejudices do come into it, and I can't get it above marvellous. No matter how much I think about it, I just can't. It just won't do it for me. So I'm going to stick at marvellous. Yeah, you might disagree, you might think it's a cracking looking bike, but it just doesn't. It's got no round clocks, it's got Mickey Mouse mirrors, I suppose, except that they're not really because they're not round, but I can forgive it that. So sight, yeah, marvellous. To touch, to feel, it feels quality, I've got to say, and it's got that marvellous little well, bloody marvellous little badge. So to touch and feel, it's got to be bloody marvellous. Yeah. It feels quality, it's smooth, it's got some strange shapes that, whilst I don't particularly like the sight, to touch and feel them, they're quite pleasing. Yeah. The smell, well, it's a new bike, it smells nice, it smells off decent hot metal. Yeah, so I'd you know, I'd go marvellous on that as well. So taste, I'm not tasting it. So we've done sight, we've done touch, we've done smell, we've got just sound. Well, I've got to say, I think it sounds splendiferous, to be honest. It does. It does. I like the sound of it. I do. Yeah. So I'm gonna go splendiferous on the sound. Yeah. But then we've got to come down to how does it make me feel? Well, it's caught me by surprise. I've got to be honest, and I'll tell you what else I've got to do as well. I've got to tighten my helmet up because it's come a bit loose on that, with all that banging about. Yeah. So see if I can get it a bit tighter. That's better. So how does it make me feel? Marvellous. At the moment I'm sticking with marvellous. It's a really, really nice bike to ride. And one which I wouldn't have considered, but you know what, I wouldn't object to having this in my garage. You know, it hasn't rated very highly, but there is something about it, and I think it's the sound. I think it's the sound that's doing it for me. And the ease. The ease at which it is to ride. The brakes are marvellous. Bloody marvellous. The gearbox is silky smooth. I know it's got a quick shifter, but I'm not using it because that engine noise doesn't make me feel like that. I'm going to give it another go on the dual carriageway. We've got it for a few days, so on this preliminary first ride, first impression, I'm gonna say marvellous, bloody marvellous. I'm gonna say bloody marvellous for now, and leave it there. Yeah. So we'll see where we go from there.